After the discussion, extremely rich, I had the intuition that my project to launch an African platform of protection of whistleblowers, which will be formally announced in the next weeks in Dakar, certainly has already found here very strong and credible partners to be able to set here a branch dedicated to protection of whistleblowers in the region. That is to say, not only to promote new mechanism of legal protection, to make lobbying, to act as a think tank, but also to be in capacity, which is complex, to give answers quickly in urgencies to those who want at their risk, and sometimes under-evaluated, to crossing the river, disclose facts that they feel extremely damageable for public interest.
It has been quite informative, inspiring, and give hope. Whistleblowers, in their own nature, they get victimized, harassed, and become victims of a good conscience in their act. They are lonely, and many a times they're left destitute. I'm glad that this platform, this forum today, is creating a future for the whistleblowers, a better future for the country. Thanks.
We think it's an important issue to look into, particularly since whistleblowers are such a critical component of your anti-corruption strategies or of your good governance framework. So really we were looking at what are the things that could be done to make life a little easy for whistleblowers. We have examples of what has happened previously to people that have taken the courage to blow the whistle on the wrongdoings that they've seen, and most of the time it hasn't been good outcomes for those people. Some people lose their jobs, some people get intimidated, some people lose their lives. And so it's important to be able to sit around the table and say, what can we do to make whistleblowing a safe option to silence?
It's a big issue in Africa because of the fact that there is a very strong link between whistleblowing around especially conduct that leads usually to serious human rights violations, also conduct that leads to a situation where there can be greater accountability by public officials in terms of the way they make decisions, in terms of the way especially they run African economies. And so when you are in this period of illicit financial flows, serious corruption and bleeding of financial resources from Africa, it's extremely important to get to understand a bit more the role that whistleblowers working with human rights defenders can do in order to ensure that African civil society and African people can bring accountability to those who govern us. That is the reason why I was here. Thank you.
This was a very significant event to be held here. There are very solid implications for transparency, accountability, and overall democracy. I think going forward, what needs to be done is to let citizens know about the importance of whistleblowing work, empower citizens to be on the guard, to constantly hold those who are in power, whether public or private, accountable, and continue to report on things that should enhance their lives. Anything less than that, that is contrary to their aspirations, must be exposed. And I think whistleblowing has a crucial role to play in this.
We have to help sometimes whistleblowers against themselves. But we have not also to wait for them to move forward. And we cannot also demand them too much. They will not by themselves sort out all the so complex issues we have to deal with. But to terminate, here in South Africa, this humanist culture, which of course come from the so long fight against apartheid, and come also from this saint named Nelson Mandela. I'm sure that we will have a possibility of connection and common work extremely fruitful for the protection of whistleblowers in all Africa.
Thank you.